Hello and welcome back to STEM at Home. I hope you've enjoyed the last few activities that we've done over the last 3-4 weeks. So this is activity 9, I believe, but nope, 7, activity 7. So in today's activity, we are going to make a rubber band car. So as you can see, so I'll demo it. I will upload a video later that shows you how it runs, attach it to this video. But what you would do is take the rubber band and you're going to wrap it around the tape, and then you're going to wind it, and you would wind it, and then you would let it go, and that's how that powers it. So this is what we're going to make today. So what you're going to need is two CDs where I'm pretty sure a ton of you have these in the home because we don't really play CDs anymore. Cardboard 4x4, 5x5, 6x6, whatever you desire. And then we're going to cut, I drew in a little notch in here that we're going to cut out. So I'm just going to use the one that's already cut out. So then I have these little other pieces of cardboard that I'm using to put on top of the hole. So some of the activities you'll see, like this one, if you find it online, it talks about putting putty in the middle. It talks about putting other things to fill the middle. I've tried the putty, I've tried the other things, and this seems to work the best in my experience, especially with working with kids. So we're going to use a hot glue gun, and we're going to glue these on, and then I have a little screw that can help me punch the hole. And then the axle for your car, your Rubberband car, is screws that you would cook. So that, and you need that. Of course, you would need the scissors to cut out the square, but this one's already cut out. And then we're going to need tape. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started. So we're going to start with, so as you can see, the cardboard, the one thing you want to make sure you do is it's the cardboard that has the holes on the side, because this has to go in there. So if I tried to use this in, if I would have cut the notch over here, then you wouldn't be able to slide it in. So you want to make sure that you find the cardboard that has the holes, because then we're going to slide this, we're going to go a couple down, and we're going to put it in. And then we're just going to, so you want to make sure it spins, because that's where you're going to get the wheels on there, and it's going to spin through. So you're just going to make sure that if it doesn't spin, then you would just kind of slide, move the stick around so that it can give it a little space, because some of it will be a little tighter. It's like this screw is a little bigger, so if I put it in, so that one's a lot tighter. So I'm going to use the skinny one on this one. So it goes back in, and it goes through. So now I'm going to, there's no particular order on how to put it together. Everyone puts it together a little different. But what I'm going to do next is go ahead and glue on my, so I use 2 on each side. And the reason for these is because, as you know, if you just step it on there, it's going to wobble. But we don't want the wheel, so we have it on there so that it does not move. It's moving with the spinning of the axle. So the wheel only moves when the axles move. If the wheels were moving opposite of the axle, you wouldn't get any power. So you have to basically make sure that it's solid. So some of the things that can happen with this activity is the kids may make the hole too big, and so the wheel is spinning separate of the axle. So then that's why we use this, because it's easy to just take this off and glue a new one on versus trying to pull the putty back together and things like that. So you want the axle and the wheels all to be spinning at the same time when you go to put these together. So like I said, we're going to glue these on. Everybody loves hot glue guns, but of course be careful because it is hot. And we're just going to add them on there, put one on each side. So one on that side. And I just put a little dab on there. Just do a little circle of it. The other thing you want to be mindful is not to get the glue directly in the hole, because then it makes it hard to punch it through. And it just requires a little more force. You'll eventually get it through, but also sometimes if you put the glue in the middle of the hole, it'll then push out the other side. So we're just going to glue these on. And as I said before, there's no right or wrong way to do any of this. Everyone's car is going to run a little different, but the point is just back to rubber band being the power, which we've had that conversation when we talked about the marshmallow slingshots and how the rubber band is what's giving it the motor, the movement. So like I said, this is just a little screwdriver that I'm going to use to start the hole, and then I'll just finish the hole with this. Some of these sticks are strong enough to go through, but for today, because it's a video, I'm just going to use this to make sure that I get it through, and I just turn and twist and be careful not to get my finger in line with that so it's all the way through. So then I just come back with the stick, with the screw or the axle. Let me use the right term. I come back with the axle and then I just work it in. And there's no right or wrong position on where you have the wheel. Every kid will have their own desire for that. The one thing you do have to be careful though is that the axle doesn't get too close to the side of the car, which is the cardboard, because then it'll start rubbing and it'll slow it down. So we're gonna get this one in, not to poke my finger. There we go. And then I'm going to actually use this same side because this is the pointy side to just get it started, that it rolls on there. And then I'm going to take it and put it on the other side just to make the hole a little bit bigger. And then we're just going to push it on, maybe. There we go, push it on through. So it does take a little bit of muscle sometimes. That's why it's good to work with the kids and help them. So now, as you can see, we have the car. It's all set. So now we have two more things to do. So we have to create this little tab here. That is what the rubber band is going to hold on to. There's a couple different things you can do for that. I'm just going to use tape, but some people have, with the glue gun, they've taken the tip of the stick, which is your sharp point, and they've cut it off and they've glued that on top, and then that'll help it spin because it has to grab onto something to allow it to connect. So I'm just going to take a piece of tape and I'm just going to, let's move this over. So I'm going to take a piece of tape and I'm just going to wrap it in the middle, and then I just pull it up and then I just do it like that. But I'm going to do that a couple times so that it's strong, so that it can hold the rubber band being wrapped around it, because tape is not that thick. You could use duct tape, but if you use duct tape, cut it in half and then layer it on top of each other, because the duct tape will be too wide, and then when you go to the rubber band around it, you wouldn't be able to pull the rubber band around it enough to really make it go very far. So you just want to be mindful of that. So now I'm going to cut some of this off the top because we don't need it to be that long. We just need it to be long enough that the rubber band can grab onto it. So we have that little piece on there. So we have that there. And this one might be a little too wide, but we'll see what the results I get. Then I have two rubber band options. I have a longer rubber band and I have a shorter one. So I will tell you, well, guess that rubber band's no good. I will tell you that the rubber band choice does play a part in how the car rolls. So you want to have your kids try different rubber bands, because then you can have the conversation of why this rubber band got either further or slower when it went, or is it why the tension of the rubber band is different and what will happen with that. And so as you can see, this rubber band's a little thicker and this rubber band's a little thinner. So what'll happen is, of course, this one's a little thicker. It's not going to wrap around as many times as the other rubber band, but it may go a little faster because it is going to release the tension faster. So let's get this in there. All right, so when we have it, so I'm going to wrap it and just spin it around. So I'm just wrapping the rubber band and spinning it, and then I'm going to let it go, and you'll just see it on the screen of how fast it's going to roll. So that's how fast this car is going to go to versus this one where the tension is, it's a longer rubber band and the tension is not as tight. So it's a slower release when it goes to, so like this one. So you can kind of see the differences, it's not as fast. So as I said, I'll upload the video of this one running across my floor in the house. If I put it on here on the table, it'll fly off the table, but these are the two-wheel ones. So what I hope you enjoy this activity. Like I said, it's just simple things you have at home. Cardboard, it can be any size, CDs. Like I said, if you don't have glue guns, you can even use a bunch of duct tape to put on there and then make a hole with it. So there's a lot of variety of things that you can do with this to make it happen. But what I will do for you, so I will be back on Friday. And on Friday, we're gonna make a four-wheel one. So just think about how would you make this in four wheels? Like how would you have your two axles and how would they work together to power the vehicle or the car to go when you have two axles? So what would you do to make that happen? So that's what we'll talk about on Friday, because I'm back at home on Friday. I'm teleworking at Friday. So this is my lunchtime that I get to come and spend with you guys, with everyone, since I'm not able to have my hands-on STEM programs in the Hands-on STEM Fair, which was scheduled for April 25th, of course, as you know, has been postponed. We're trying to find new dates, but we all know that the coronavirus has changed how we're going to be doing business. So we're looking at all opportunities to continue to provide activities for you all. So if you have any questions, please follow us on social media, Future Stars AZ on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook, and share with a friend. As in the last competition is still open, if you do two of these activities, tag us in two of these activities, share our information and tag two of your friends on any of our platforms, and you have a chance to win a Snap Circuit Junior. So thanks for watching. Look forward to talking with you on Friday. Have a great day. Thanks.